Interviews. A lot of us panic when we get this interview call. Why? Because it's a very big opportunity. We don't want to mess up. Yes, right. You can mess if you go unprepared for it. Hot Amaze Profit TV presents the 4th episode of 9-step guide on how to win a job loss. Today we're going to be discussing about how are we going to prepare for interviews. Preparing for a job interview isn't easy like we think. But yes, you can always take baby steps to be able to be successful in interviews. There are a few interview channels. The first thing is telephonic interview. And most of the times telephonic interviews are random calls. But what is sincerely suggested is to convert these random calls into an advanced schedule. While you get a call on the drive, or probably you are in the gym, you won't be in a position to take that call. So make sure that you ask the person in the first place that is it possible to make this an advanced schedule. Don't hesitate to know if this person is a direct employer or a recruitment agent. Now that you have this advanced schedule in hand, you have a lot of time to prepare for it. So I'm going to be suggesting here few recommendations on how you can plan your telephonic interview. First things first, you should ensure that you are in an isolated place where there is no chit chats or gossips or unnecessary noise around your atmosphere. Number 2, your device should have sufficient power as well as internet connectivity or say network connectivity. Number 3, it's important for you to know where you stand. Make sure that your resume and your accomplishments match the job requirements. So by doing this, you will be able to answer the right questions. 4, job description. A lot of job openings have a detailed job description wherein allowances, incentives, roles, job locations, responsibilities, and the package that is going to be offered for the position all kept available in such a posting. So it will help you to answer relevant questions in a relevant way. The next thing is to know about what is the company. Yes, this is an important step you will have to follow in all channels of interviews. By knowing what the company does, you will be able to give relevant answers to relevant questions. Channel 2 is videographic interviews. This is the most common way of interviewing people these days. It becomes easier and you can connect people in anywhere around the globe. But the challenge is about connecting them like we do on a face-to-face or a phone call. So the first thing is to make sure that you have the right tool available for such videographic interviews. A recruiter or an interviewer will schedule a call with a particular link. Say for example, if it's a Skype or a Zoom call, make sure that you have this software set up in your laptop or your phone. It's very important that you test once, making sure that the software works well and you're able to hear the opposite person speaking. Now that you've decided what is the device you're going to be using and also you have set up the software, it's important to check your microphone and camera. A lot of interviews end up in a mess just because of no microphone working or no camera working. Interviewers sometimes prefer to hear people well and also see them well. The next thing is appearance. Yes, appearance definitely plays a key role in being successful in a videographic interview. Interviewers definitely gauge you on what costume or attire you wear for an interview. Sometimes wearing a blazer for a sales job interview definitely adds value and impresses the interviewer. So make sure that you wear the right attire for the right interview. Next thing is having stable network. Yes, for a videographic interview, it's important that you have right Wi-Fi signals so that the interview isn't interrupted. The last thing is the body language. Yes, this is another way you can commit a mistake or fail in a job interview. Your body language matters the most when it comes to behavioral interviews with an HR professional. So make sure that your body language is very attentive So here are a few signs of how you can attract the interviewer. On the left, you can see the positive body language on head nudging, maintaining eye contact and smiling genuinely. On your other hand, negative body language is about lack of eye contact. Make sure that you do not commit these mistakes. The next channel is the face-to-face interviews. All this could happen after you are being successful in the telephonic or the videographic interview. Sometimes it could be a first level face-to-face interview. What are you supposed to do in the first place is to make sure that your appearance is pleasant enough. A pleasant appearance and attire can definitely add value and impress the interviewer. Second thing is being on time. Yes, interviewers love punctuality. Most of the people are successful just because they are punctual and disciplined enough. So make sure that you plan to attend the interview before time. Say for example, if your interview is scheduled at 9 a.m. in the morning, make sure that you reach the place at 8:45. The next thing you will have to take care is knowing the interviewer. Sometimes the interviewer might ask you confronting questions. So knowing the interviewer can actually help you realize, yes, this person has the capacity to gauge me what my answers are. So ensure that you do a research about who is the interviewer on a social network. The next thing is, what do you know about our company? This is a common question the interviewers will ask you in an interview. So make sure that you research about the company, know what the company's products, goals, and the culture are. By knowing what the company's specialty is, you would be able to answer rightly so that it impresses the interviewer. The next thing is beating around the bush. Yes, most of the interviewers like candidates who get straight to the answers. A lot of candidates make this common mistake of telling a lot of stories about themselves when there is a short answer that can be given to a particular question. For example, if you are asked what are your significant accomplishments, ensure that you give right specific accomplishments in terms of a percentage or an indicator so that the interviewer understands that you have achieved it. The next thing is hackathons. Hackathons have become the trendiest way of doing mass interviews, especially in the IT industry. So how do we address these hackathons? How are we going to prepare for it? Here is an example of a hackathon, which is otherwise called as a techathon, which is generally prevailing in the IT industry. What are the things you have to do to be able to prepare for a hackathon and be successful? First thing is to know the company's product features. Say for example, if you've been called for a techathon in a SaaS product company, ensure to know that what are the platforms they use, what languages they are good at, and what problems do these products resolve. This will help you to kickstart what you can do on a particular day. Secondly is the skills. What you have to ensure is to be very creative or innovative. Why? That's the reason these hackathons happen. Do you know how Instagram evolved? Instagram happened just out of an hackathon which was conducted by a US-based company. So it's important that you be innovative or creative and know what the problems these products can resolve. The next thing is to know the platforms. Like I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of languages you can deploy while building a product for that particular hackathon day. So ensure that you know what languages you are very good at. Ensure that you use those platforms. Knowing the company's competition can play a major role in being successful in a hackathon. Say for example, if you've been invited for an interview in a SaaS firm, it is important to know what are the competitor products in the same industry matching the same features of this particular product. By doing this, you will be able to come up with an innovative solution that can be ahead of the competition. What would be expected from you in a hackathon is to brainstorm first, then to develop the product and be able to use the right programming languages within the specific given time. This will all involve a team effort, so it would require a lot of collaborative skills for you to know what is the strengths and weaknesses of each team member. This may eventually go up to hours or days. The next mode interviews happen is through psychometric evaluations or quantitative aptitudes. Here are a few ways psychometric tests happen. So So what's important is for you to take sample tests and make sure that you prepare and prepare and prepare. Well, these psychometric tests are combination of managing the timeline and be able to know what you are. So it's important that you understand your SWOT, that is, list down what are your strengths, what are you very good at, so that you can focus on that particular event. At the same time, knowing the weaknesses will help you to overshadow them with the strengths that you have, so that you can handle these psychometric tests or aptitude effectively. Lastly is to know your story in itself. A lot of psychometric tests will involve questions that talks about your own life. How have you handled tough situations? How have you overcome the hurdles or challenges in your life? So it's very important that you revise on what is your past and what have you been doing all these days. The last thing before you land into a job is big guys meet. That is, after passing all these hurdles, it is time for you to now handle the top leadership meetings. That is, the CEO who is going to talk to you for the final time before he offers a job. Are you someone thinking, how am I going to meet him? How am I going to answer his questions? How I can impress him? Don't worry, it's a simple strategy that you can follow. The first thing is to knowing the company. Yes, knowing the company does your job half just because you know what questions you can expect from a top guy. Say for example, knowing the company means companies, customers, ethics, what is the team about and what have they done so far, and also to know what is their brand value and what are their mission and values, so that you'll be able to answer relevantly to the question. The role. This is another aspect where you can attract the top guy. You can't be talking about the job responsibilities or the duties that you will perform that is expected out of the role. What a big guy would expect you to do is to bring in a lot of tangible business contribution. That is, make sure that you impress the interviewer by saying that you can achieve so and so percentage of increase in performance or productivity or sales. Of course, the top guys wouldn't be impressed just by you saying that you can achieve this. So it's important that you talk about your specific accomplishments and how have they contributed to your current company's growth. The last thing is to learn and learn and learn. It's vital for you to keep learning about a company, the job role, and at the same time, what are the skill sets that would be required for you to crack that particular job interview. The next tip that I can offer you today is know what are the frequently asked questions. You can anytime Google and check what questions would you be asked on a particular job interview and what skills are desirable for that particular job role to be able to prepare for that accordingly. There you go. That's it for today. Congrats on crossing the next hurdle. This is the 9-step guide on winning a job loss. See you in the next episode. We're going to be talking about how are we going to handle these interviews. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.